Hello everyone, thanks for stopping by to Scrap and Craft with Terry. Today we're going to make a fold-out tag with hidden pockets. I saw this on Pinterest and it looked pretty interesting, so thought we would take a shot at this, and I added a couple extra pockets than what they had. Now I'm not sure who shared this, and there was no instructions, no sizes, anything like that, so I just made up my own. So we're going to go ahead and get started. If you like my video, I just ask that you give me a thumbs up and check out my other ones. Now, this is what I started out with. Was just a piece of notebook paper. And let me see, how does it go? This way. This was this side over here. No, it wasn't either. This side over here. And this side over here. So that's how my notebook paper was. Then I just kind of messed around with flips to get it folded in thirds the way that I wanted it. And then when I got all done with that, I decided, excuse me, I would figure out how big of an angle I wanted here. So I'll show you on the paper that I have underneath how I went by, let me see here. I went over about a ½ inch from the fold line, and then I went up about let me see, where we at here, about 2 3/4 from the bottom. So from the score line this way I went about a ½ inch, and whatever I said here, 2 3/4, 2 3/4, 2 3/4 up from the bottom. I drew my line, and then I cut my my angles. Then I folded it. Now I had to mess around with my folds and all of that. I folded it in half to find the center to begin with, but I was off on my folds, so I had to keep messing with it. So then I took a piece of the regular paper and I made notes on it. See, I did my fold wrong there, but I highlighted where my folds are so you could see them. Now, this part here, this is how my paper goes. Okay, it is a piece that is 7 inches by 10 1/4. Now the way this is scored for my score lines, the part down here, this right hand corner, I turned it over. Okay, so I want to turn this over, and I printed on the back side so it wouldn't just be plain white. So after I figured my cuts and everything, I folded my paper, and this is how I want it to be. Okay, and it was just square to begin with, and then I cut my angles into it. Now I think when I cut this angle was when I had this, let me see which one of these angles. This is the angle that I'm supposed to be going for. So this angle here looks longer. Now that doesn't look right at all. That's what it was. When I cut that first angle, I had them out like this, and I cut that angle. But when we do it on this one, hopefully we'll do it the right way. Maybe this is the way that I wanted it and I just did it wrong. I don't know. I think so. I don't think... Nah, that's longer. Let me see. That is about 7/8 of an inch. And that is about 7/8 of an inch. So that's how it's supposed to go. So let me fold this out and see where it comes to. So if I do it like that, it's not going to go all the way over to the side. It'll have a little piece of Velcro on it. That's what it'll look like. So that's supposed to be the edge that I go by. Okay. That's how it's supposed to go. Just like that. Now, unfortunately, this was supposed to be my last Friday's video, and I don't know. I've just had some awful busy days here lately. Just, I don't know, trying to get stuff done and having to go different places, and, well, you know, life happens. But we're going to try to get this done today. So let's go ahead and work on our regular piece. So here's my right side. So I'm just going to flip it over and I'm going to score at, I wrote this down, 3 3/8. So we're going to score at 3 3/8, and that's just the line past your quarter. And if you don't have a scoreboard, all you have to do is measure from this edge over, and then we're going to go to 6 7/8, and that is your mark just past 3/4. So 6 7/8. And we're going to fold, and hopefully, now there's going to be a little gap. On each side. So we have a little gap here. We have a little gap here. My throat is back, probably just because I'm talking. So that helps, so when you fold it over, it's not binding. Now at this point in time, you're going to want to figure out which flap you want on the top. Do you want it to open to the right, or do you want it to open to the left? I generally do it like you open a book. So this is going to be my outside flap. So I can take the scoreboard off now. And make room there. Now on the back, I'm going to measure in. Now let me ink these so we can see, because if I can't hardly see it, I know you can't see it. And I picked this background for the inside because it's just neutral. If you have double-sided paper, then you don't have to worry about it. You can use single-sided paper and just ink it or whatever you might want to do with it. There's a little faint mark there when I was first messing with this paper, and I started to put a score line in the wrong spot. But it wasn't very deep and I flattened it out, so it's all good. All right, now I'm going to measure over that 1/2 no, 1/4 of an inch from my score line towards the center. And then I'm going to measure over the 1/4 of an inch from my score line towards the center. Then we're going to go up. Can't remember what I said. Try not to put my head in the way. 2 3/4. Let me see. Oh, I'm looking at something else over there. Guess it doesn't pertain to this part. All right, 2 3/4, and I'm going to make a mark. And then we're going to go up here, 2 3/4, and make a mark. And that's where we're going to cut our angle. Now you can draw your lines, cut them with your scissors, or you can just put it on your paper cutter and cut it like that. So there we go. And we'll hope that these turn out good. Now, even though I drew the lines, I'm just going to go ahead and cut it on the paper cutter. What you have to do is even up your marks, line them up, I should say. And then just cut down through there. And you can save this for a little corner pocket somewhere. And then whatever marks are left, I'll just erase them. Same with this one. So we can put this down now. Now let's fold this over and see what it looks like. Okay. Now that looks more like we're supposed to have. That's going to be our tag shape. So it's already cut into the paper. So this is going to be the front of the tag. And when you put it in your pocket, that's what you're going to see is this. And when you turn it over, we're going to have these flaps. And like I said, there's going to be a piece of Velcro on here to hold this down. And that's my plan anyway. I have to see how my pocket and my tags inside here end up. But for this part here, I'm going to put a pocket. Now on this paper here, I drew a mark. I didn't want to go any higher than what this cross piece does. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So I'll just make a little mark here, then I can erase it. I don't want to go any higher than that right there because I don't want my tags to show. I don't want my tags sticking out up here. I want it to be underneath. Okay, so that just gives us a guideline of where to go. So I'm gonna have, let me make sure which way I'm putting these pockets. This one's going to go over here. I already have my lines drawn. And these are too big. So we're going to have to cut them off a little bit. So we'll just cut this down some. And I'll cut them both at the same time so they come out. Maybe I ought to cut all of them at the same time so they all come out the same size. And this might be off camera, but all I'm doing is cutting it. Let's see how that works. Erase that mark. Okay. And okay. Now, I have to redo my lines now. Thought I was going to be smart and have them on there all ready to go. That's what I get for thinking, huh? So did everyone have a nice weekend? Hopefully. We have some snow. So not too bad outside yet though. Let's see, I want to have a little bit of a border around it. This one over here is just a little tiny bit bigger than this one, but I think it'll be just fine. I'm not going to cut it. And then this will be my pocket in the center. So I'm going to go in 1/4 of an inch. And I'm going to go up just 1/2 an inch. And I'm going to make it on the front side because I don't want to do anything to mess up my pocket. So I'm going to go in on this side. Did I put them on the right side? Let me see. Yeah, it'll be fine. Doesn't matter. I'm just going to go in 1/4 of an inch and up 1/2 an inch. I hope I'm not off the camera. I'll kind of get lost down here in my own little land. And then I'll just cut this on the paper cutter also. So I'm just going to line them marks up. That is a little piece you might be able to keep for something. I'm going to cut that number out of there. So that one's going to go there, whether I wanted it to or not. And I have the markings on this one on the wrong side. So I marked them both the same way. I could probably blame it on Monday, but I won't. I won't do that. I'll just blame it on me. All right, 1/4 of an inch. Let's get over here where we can see what I'm doing. And up 1/2 an inch. Okay. Quarter and 1/2. Okay, good thing I was paying attention. So these are going to be our inside pockets. We're going to have 2 that are angled and 1 regular pocket. So let me ink. Let me take these marks off. Okay. Anyways, did everyone have a nice weekend? We did some stuff outside Saturday. And rained a lot yesterday. We spent most of the day gone yesterday. I'm not really trying to grunge this up. I'm just trying to cover up any white spots on the outside. Now, do I want to use this one? I don't think so. I'm going to put just a little thumb notch in here. And I just want to make it small. There we go. So we're going to have this like this. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Oh, hello. Small thumbs over here. Let me see. I think I'll just leave my my corners square this time. Generally, I like to round the top of my pockets, but this time they can just stay that way. And this will just make a nice insert into your journal. And just stick it in a pocket. Or you can paper clip it in. You can glue it in, and then you would just have a fold out. And if you glued it in, then you wouldn't have to, I'm going to put a pocket on the back, but if you glued it in, then you just wouldn't put the pocket in. Make sure I'm doing this right. Now on the inside here, the background is light enough that you can journal on it if you wanted to. Okay. Now let's make for sure that we're not going up above that, and we're not. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this so I don't forget. So we'll put our stuff in our pockets in a minute. Now, this is how it's going to fold, like this. But I didn't want this to just be plain, so I did a pocket for on here. It'll give us an extra little tag. And then in here, let me make sure this is even. And we're going to have another little tag. Goes this way, I guess. In here. Then on the back, and when this is opened, you'll have pockets like here. Then on the back, we're going to have another pocket for another card. Or this is the front. Yeah, we don't need that one. We only need these two. So how about that? We don't need this one at all. Let me just lay that aside with my other pieces. So now I'm going to, which one do I want on the front? I think I want this one on the front flap, or the outside front flap. See, because I didn't do it Friday, kind of had to go over everything again. And then I thought I needed a pocket for that other side. And I like these two colors together. These are just free printables. Got them off Pinterest. Okay. So this will fold in and this will fold over. Now this is the back of our this is the back of our tag. So let's go ahead and fill them up. Then I can see about my Velcro. Now I just have a bunch of these little postcards. So I just added some lace to the top, just a little narrow lace. So we're going to put a postcard, and generally I round the bottoms, but seeing how it's made like a postcard, I'm not going to. I'm going to put a postcard in like one of these faux stamps. And they're pretty good size, so I knew they wouldn't get lost in the shuffle. And that's what we're going to have in all of our pockets. So put that over there. And hopefully these aren't too tall. Put that there. And I think the colors go really good together. And flowers generally go good with everything. I think anyway. So then we'll close this one over. And we'll put one there. And a flower. And that sits in there good. The knot from probably what I should have done was just stapled these. And I might undo these and staple them, because that leaves a lot of bulk in there. And then this would go like this. Now, down here on our pocket is where I'm going to put my Velcro, so it's not in the way. I'm going to take these out so I don't have bulk from them. I think I'll undo these though, and I'll just staple them on. But I'm going to let me see here. I have to have this here. Let me make a little mark right about there for our Velcro, and I think that'll work good. So I think this is a cute little project, and I can't forget to decorate the front. Seeing how I wanted to put a pocket on it. All right, so we're going to place that right there. And that'll just mean we have to keep our tags in a little bit, but that'll be all right. Then we make sure it doesn't go over the side over here. Now, if you want to just wrap something around here where you don't have to use Velcro, wrap yarn or seam binding or anything, you can. All right, so we're going to put this here. And press that down a little bit. So when it's closed, that'll hold that shut, and you're only going to see this from the front. Now let's pull this open and see how it works. All right, let's put these back in now. Yeah, them can lay just right next to the Velcro. That'll be just fine, I think. And if you don't like it that way, you don't have to use the Velcro. There we go. Good. Now, I'm going to have to take them out of there while I decorate the front, and then I'm going to go off and I'm going to change the lace on these so they don't have that knot. So we'll just lay this open. Now for the top of my tag, I'm going to put this tab, and this matches this down here. So we're going to put a tab on it. Try to make sure I get it about centered. Let's fold these over and see. No, that ain't centered. I have to go over a little bit. I think that's better. Okay. So that's our tab. Then I'm going to have follow your own path. And we're going to have these butterflies. I love these butterflies. There's a little bit of green. So we're going to have, I thought the green in the butterflies would go good. There's green in the stamps on these. There's green in the leaves on the flowers. So I thought the green would go good. But I'm going to close these up so I know I don't go over the side. So I'm going to do the big butterfly first. And what has everyone been working on? Are we making lots of fancies? I have so many different ideas that I want to do. Then I kind of get sidetracked sometimes. Let's see, let's just set this up here, and then we'll have this little guy going his way. There's some things eventually I want to work on, but it wouldn't be on camera. But after I got it done, I could come on and show you what I made. I think that would just be more relaxing. Okay, there we go. So follow your own path. Now let me go take care of these ties. So I should have just stuck with my idea to begin with and staple them, but I thought I would do something a little different this time. Guess next time I'll just staple them, be done with it. Now let's make sure that we can't see this lace. I'm going to cut this one down just a little bit shorter. Let's see now. I'm going to cut the center one just a little shorter. We have to do one here. Let me just go ahead and cut a little tiny bit off just to make for sure. And that'll fold over. Nope. See if I bring it over this way some and put that one there. Will it still show? No. So that'll be all right there. I have to just take a little tiny bit more off. I just don't want, because they're supposed to be hidden, so I don't want anything showing back there. And then on this one here, won't matter a whole lot, but we'll make it shorter like the other ones. So we'll put that like that. So this is our tag. So now when you put it in your pocket, now this is my faux journal page. We'll just call this a pocket. We'll just slide this right into our pocket, and it's going to look like we just have a tag in there. And this lays down a lot better since we don't have the knots on the lace. So when we open it up, we would just open it and see our tag. Oh, that's just too cool. That's pretty, but oh, there's something back there. So then you have a lot of journal space on these little tags, even though they're small. And I just kind of went over them with a little bit of my ink just to tone down the white a little bit. And then we would open this up and we would see our tags in here. So how cool is that? I think that's such a cute idea. And then we can just put it right back in our pocket. And like I said, on the inside, because this is light enough, you can journal on that also. So that's my video for today. Let me know down in the comments what you think, and you think you'd give this a try. Easy project. We like easy. So until next time, everyone, have a wonderful day and happy crafting. Bye for now.